My name is Jared, and this is Horror October. Today's recommendation is Dracula, 1999, based on a novella by Bram Stoker and directed by the incredible Francis Ford Coppola. Dracula stars Gary Oldman as the titular character, as well as Anthony Hopkins, Winona Ryder, and John Wick in a role which was probably too big for his acting chops. I have nothing against Keanu, believe me, but he is excellent in a very specific range of acting, and dragging him out of his puzzled, incredulous expressions and into horrified screaming like this is a recipe for disaster. Despite this, Dracula is actually an amazing movie. If you've somehow never seen the film, it receives my highest possible recommendation. Dracula is one of those horror movies that manages to transcend the genre and become just a great film that happens to also be a horror. Let's quickly run through the setup in case you've been frozen in ice for the past couple hundred years and have never heard the story of Dracula before. The movie starts off with Count Dracula, a vicious warrior who saturated the battlefield with the blood of his enemies. This particular battle, however, his enemies pull a pretty mean little trick and send a letter to his wife telling her that Dracula has perished in battle. And because she's borderline personality disorder or something, she immediately jumps to her death, rather than making even a cursory attempt to verify the information. This is one of the only situations I can confidently say TikTok would have saved that woman's life. Dracula returns home to find his wife dead, and I guess people back then were pretty impulsive because he immediately swears off Jesus Christ and makes a pact with the devil, sealing the deal by slurping down some blood out of a chalice. Next, Keanu gets sent off to Dracula's estate to negotiate some land purchases all over England or some other drab endeavor. But getting back out of the castle might be more difficult than it first appeared. Along the way, Dracula goes to England to try and find Mina, Keanu's fiancée, who looks suspiciously like she's played by the same actress who played his long-lost wife, to try and rekindle a centuries-old love. Everything about this movie fucking works perfectly. Gary Oldman is especially amazing as Count Dracula, easily moving between the old, worn-out, menacing, super old man he plays at the beginning to the vigorous, rejuvenated man once Dracula regains his strength. Anthony Hopkins is always charismatic and a joy to watch, but he managed to steal virtually every scene he is in, and the movie is worth watching for him alone. The costume design is top-notch, and since the movie is directed by Francis Ford Coppola, you know, the guy who directed Godfather Part 1 and Part 2, you can be assured that Dracula is very competently shot, framed, and edited. There is no real incompetence at any level of this movie's production, something typically absent in a horror movie, and the end result is an all-time classic that is unlikely to ever be dethroned as the definitive depiction of one of the most famous characters of all time, Count Dracula. Alright, that wraps up recommendation number 22 for Horror October, and check back in tomorrow for a movie about waking up in a pile of dead bodies.